Reaching a large audience on YouTube is the main criterion for the success of your videos today. YouTube makes it clear that the number of likes, subscribers, and views has always been what determines the fate of the video, meaning that it determines whether your video will get to the main page or to the recommendations. Today, algorithms are more concerned with indicators such as the viewing time and the activity of your audience. In this video, I'll give you some recommendations on how to captivate your audience and keep their attention throughout the video. How to establish a dialogue between the author and subscribers, and also what about retention and engagement. In general, I will let you know in this video about the difference between engagement and retention and what's the difference between them, and also I'll let you know about the most important secret that is completely forgotten by all YouTubers. This is Nader from Prodvigate, and here on this channel we talk about the tips and tricks that everybody needs to make progress on YouTube today. Audience retention is a metric that allows you to understand how long people have been watching your videos. This indicator depends on the time the user has watched your video and the total number of videos viewed on your channel. The longer they watched your video, the better it is for you. And the more videos watched on your channel, also the better. YouTube is starting to get such videos into recommendations. The click-through rate is by definition the same indicator, only it's measured as a percentage, meaning that the ratio of the length of the video to the amount of the time spent watching it. So the higher the percentage is, the better it is for you. But there's a catch. As for authors, it's more important to look at the retention, meaning the minutes, than at the click-through rate, meaning the percentages. Now I'm going to explain why. Imagine you have a 10-minute video. The click-through rate is, for example, 40%, which means that the retention is 4 minutes. And also you have a second video that is only 20 minutes long, and the retention of viewers in this video is 5 minutes. This is more, for sure, and therefore better for us. But now the click-through rate is only 25%, while the previous one had it at 40%. I hope now it's clear why minutes are more important to us. After all, the metric of viewed hours is made up of total time, not percentages. So, we found out that the audience retention and click-through rate allow us to understand how long people are watching your videos. But for analytics, we are concerned about the audience retention, meaning the metric in minutes. What's the difference between engagement and retention? We had a whole separate video about how to hook the viewer from the very first minutes. I gave you a lot of useful tips there on the introduction to the videos. I recommend watching it before we also deal with retention in detail. Well, engagement is a concept that is responsible for whether the viewer will watch your videos after the first couple of seconds or not. The first 8 to 10 seconds of your video are crucial in terms of the viewer's decision whether to keep watching the video or not. Does not mean that if you hook the viewer in the first seconds, they will keep watching 100% of the video. If the only captivating part of your video is only the beginning of it, and then the rest of it is sheer boredom, then the engagement will not help your channel to get into the recommendations in any way. Meaning, if the engagement is what we catch the viewer with, then retention is the entire remaining part of the video. And that's the difference. These concepts are very, very linked, and without engagement, people will not watch the video, and without retention, there is no point in engagement in the first place. Now we have figured out the theory, so let's move to specific recommendations that'll help increase the retention of your videos. So, how to entice your viewers to watch your videos. First, speech and charisma. The first thing I want to remind you of is to avoid getting verbose when there's not much to say, and get straight to the point. Talking a lot usually works better with retention only if the entire huge video is full of information from A to Z. Otherwise, people will just abandon your video from the very beginning. This will only negatively affect your promotion. Next, try to speak quickly and energetically. People will continue watching you if you talk cheerfully, but if you're very quiet, by nature, then it's not necessary to stress yourself by forcing that onto yourself. Well, each YouTuber will have their own audience, and the main thing is that your speech is neat, logical, and captivating. Also, intonations and expressions are important elements of speech that can diversify your video. Study and train your facial muscles. Otherwise, more talkative YouTubers will simply outperform you, and the viewer will be keen on them, not on you. The second point is the editing. There are a lot of techniques here, and it'll take too long to talk about everything, but I'll run through it quickly. So, you should alternate the frames. On average, 3 to 4 seconds are allocated for one frame, but this is a television standard. Psychologically, people get tired after only 20 seconds, so try to change the size at least for 20 seconds. Well, we've got only one camera here, but we just make the same frame either larger or smaller so that the viewer does not get bored of the static picture. I'll also include effects here. It'll diversify your video quite well, and if you are using effects, Hollywood graphics, that's cool, but you don't need that. You can just use some animated frames or some animated pictures, and that's gonna do the trick. And number 3 is shooting the video. Well, you should change the locations, and by doing that, you will not only be able to entice the viewers to watch more of your videos without getting bored easily, but it'll also be much easier for you to get new ideas and get inspired. Don't forget about the backstage viewers that always want to get into your life as deeply as possible, and it's behind the scenes that establish yourself as a person and not just a YouTuber. This move can also be called one of the ways to build trust with your audience, so it'll seem to them that you're closer than it seems. And number 4 is content. Well, you should tell jokes. We've all seen big channels built on the fact that at a convenient moment they can crack a joke, and this is a great way to both attract attention to the content and keep the viewer throughout the video. Also, you should learn more about screenwriting. If you're interested in learning more about how to write scripts, we created a whole video on the topic, so watch this video and apply it to your style. The video should have a plot that the audience will wait for throughout the video. The plot can be in any video content, both in entertainment and educational. It depends only on you. I'll also include the concept of conflict here. For example, you can compare 2 different opinions about one issue. Here is the simple example. So you can tell the audience that some people believe that the earth is round and some others believe that it's flat. This will get people to engage with your content by stating their personal opinions. Number 5 is have a dialogue with the audience. Another important point of retention is not a story that's interesting to the audience, which they will watch from the beginning to the end, but also such content that can motivate them to return. This also applies to the tasks of audience retention, and for that, a dialogue with the subscriber is very important. Today's trends dictate new conditions for how to develop the channel, and one of them is to be closer to the viewers. This implies the following points. Try to maintain the loyalty of the viewer and always meet their expectations. Keep in mind that today it's important to understand what the audience wants, and of course you have to be on the same wavelength with them. Analyze the audience. If you understand their requests, then there will be definitely no problems with retention. Give feedback. People will not subscribe to stay on the channel and just watch you without doing anything else. If you don't respond to comments, then we're not going to get a lot of followers or retention. People like channels that communicate with them more often than not. In addition to the previous point, ask people to comment. Ask for their opinions. They really like to do that. Here you can use a very cool move. For example, at the beginning of the video, say that at the end, you'll ask a very important question on the topic and then ask, how many times have I said the word so and so? Well, or some other different questions for sure. Then the audience will not only carefully review the video, but also at the end, they will start giving comments. And the most important point and the very big secret that I promised to tell you about is emotions. They are the main secret of audience retention. If your content evokes emotions in the audience, then they will definitely want to watch to the end and watch more videos. Moreover, the range of emotions that your content can cause is very extensive. Emotions are the most important thing that we are looking for in life, and we also are looking for it on YouTube. In general, there are many studies and articles about emotions in content and their impact on the audience. And if you are interested, I can talk about this topic in more detail in a separate video. If you want to know more about the emotions of the audience and how to manage them, let us know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for making it to the end. If you liked this video, don't forget to click on the like button and click on the bell so that you don't miss out on our next videos. Thank you so much and see you next time.